Good evening to you all. It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. Welcome, welcome, one and all. I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, and welcome to our live stream. This is the second of 4 sessions of Livestream Call of Cthulhu that we are going to be playing for you this Halloween season. Now, these nominally happen on Friday nights, but I will be traveling tomorrow night. And to that end, let me just give you all my absolutely heartfelt thanks for those of you who had moved heaven and earth to make the trip that I'm taking tomorrow happen. I like to say we've got a good group of people around here and that I love you all, but truly, those of you who worked and just did and gave so much to make this culmination of a truly wonderful thing that started all the way back in February happen. From the bottom of my heart, again, I say thank you and God bless you, and I will work ceaselessly to pay this forward. I view this as a huge chance for me to go out and put some karmic balance into the universe and try to spread some joy and some positivity. So thank you all very much. And for those of you who might be wondering what I'm babbling on about, the trip I'm taking tomorrow will take me from my home here in Florida to my former home in the state of Alabama, where I, for the first time ever in my life, and possibly the last time ever in my life, let's hope not, I will get to attend in person a University of Alabama football game. They will be playing against the Arkansas Razorbacks, and I will be attending a home game. For all the years that I lived in Alabama as a child, if my dad had the money, he didn't have the time, and if he had the time, he didn't have the money, because Dad worked to keep a roof over our heads. And they have played in so many bowl games here in Central Florida that even as an adult, I myself found exactly the same set of circumstances. If I had the time, I didn't have the money. And if I had the money, I didn't have the time to get to see them. So going back many years and hearing that sob story, some absolutely wonderful individuals reached out and corrected what they viewed as a philosophical wrong in my life. So tomorrow I will be boarding a Delta flight to Atlanta and then to Birmingham and then on to Bryant Denny Stadium and the storied campus, the capstone as they call it, and watching the mighty men of the Crimson Tide hopefully carry the day against the Arkansas Razorbacks, their co-belligerents in the Southeastern Conference. So again, I thank you all unremittingly for helping that happen. And this journey began back in February when a fellow by the name of Ben McSwain, hello, Ben, I hope I'm not outing you. Everyone, I think, knows your name by now, started asking me increasingly suspicious and leading questions about how exactly I used my name. Was I William or was I Bill? What was my birthday? Would my wife be interested in going on a trip with me, and so on and etc. And it was not only the trip this weekend to the Alabama football game, but in March they sent us on all travel and lodging expenses, I should point out, paid trip to GaryCon that I have also talked about quite a bit. So this is not merely a point. This is a bookend of a series of awesome events that have happened over the course of the last several months. And all of you who contributed to the funds that make this happen, thank you. All of you who have cheered me on throughout this, regardless of what your contribution was, I thank you. And of course, if you're new to this channel, I don't just sit here and brag about awesome things that I've gotten from my viewers, although when I receive a gift, I do like to talk about how wonderful it is and how much I appreciate the givers. Nonetheless, what we do here is 5 nights a week for this week. We bring what I think is the best in old school tabletop gaming: news, reviews, rants, bants. There's interstitial videos when news pops up, when Wizards of the Coast finds yet another toe that they haven't severed with an errant gunshot. I will bring it to you on this channel. So if you're just stopping by for the first time, if you're curious about what goes on here when we do it, please click that bell icon for notifications and click the subscribe button. It is extremely helpful. And if you'd like to support the show financially, of course, you can subscribe to us on Patreon, and you can also become a YouTube member. At the $10 level for either one of those, every month you will receive a first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons adventure module penned by yours truly or by my co-host Kyle Schuant. The August and September modules are out. October is due to come out next week when I return from Alabama, and it'll be horror themed. So now's your chance to get on board if you want something spooky to run in your games that isn't Ravenloft. But what we're doing tonight is we are live streaming the second in a series of linked Call of Cthulhu adventures. It is a mini campaign, 3 hours a session. So, of course, we'll be wrapping up tonight at midnight Eastern, at which time I will hit the sack because I've got a long day of flying ahead of me tomorrow and an even longer one coming back on Sunday. So I need to get my rest. So that's what we do, and it is all of this is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde makes the kind of adventures they'd like to play, whether it's for 5th edition, for Castles and Crusades, or for the OSR. Old school is in play at the table with Hellebarde, and you can check them out at DriveThruRPG or on their website hellebardegames.com. And if you do like what we do, regardless of who it's sponsored by, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below and tell us what you liked about it. And by gosh, we'll do more of it. Now, you may have noted that I said that this is an event for October. You might wonder, well, what about November and December and January and February and March and April and May and June, July, August, and September until we get to next October? That, brothers and sisters, is simply this. Every Friday night, we will play some kind of fun science fiction game. We are currently Let's Playing through a Gamma World adventure. Might that change in the future? Who can say? You'll have to stick around to find out. And this isn't the only Let's Play that we do. We play first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons on Tuesday evenings. We have Kyle running his game of Conflict, the game of adventure and modern warfare, on Wednesday nights. Mondays and Thursdays are kind of open. Next Thursday, speaking of spooky things, however, next Thursday we have a guest. Bob Antone will be here. Now, Bob is a very talented musician in his own right. He is a member of the awesome folk music band Tinkham Road. And if you're new to the show, if you don't know who Bob is, stick around to the end and you're going to hear a wonderful little ditty about owl bears that Bob wrote just for this show. Well, Bob happens to be a big enthusiast of ghost stories and cryptids and all sorts of wonderful tales. So we're going to talk to Bob about those things on Thursday night next, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we will be debuting the new mix of Owl Bear, performed not just by Bob, but by most of the rest of Tinkham Road. Unfortunately, Jeremy Rule is not in that particular lineup. Jeremy is a friend of this show, and he's an awesome guy in his own right. But we'll have a fantastic guest next week, and we do that. We have guests. We have luminaries from TSR's heyday. We have folks on who just want to talk old school. We have creators. We had Matt Finch on a couple of weeks ago, Heidi Gygax and her husband Eric Garland, and they come on and they talk about their endeavors, and we have a whole lot of fun. So you just have to tune in. You just have to subscribe so you can find out when we're going to have these awesome guests and these fantastic Let's Plays. We have unboxings. We have product reviews. We have deep dives of cool things. And you can check all of that out. Like, for example, again, in the spirit of the season, we have, or rather, I have sort of ginned up a brand new kind of witch class. That is the distaff spellcasting side, although I put no restrictions on whether a man or a woman wants to run the witch. Who am I to say? But if you follow me on Twitter, you can find that. It should be right at the top of my profile or darn close to it over on Twitter. I've shared it over on Facebook. And if you're interested, you can hit me up. If you don't see it, just reach out to me on social media. My email address is scrolling by down there, bsylvia@gmail.com. That's not just for PayPal. And this is free, by the way. The Witch is free to you to roll into your first edition AD&D games, and I hope you will play it, enjoy it. That is my little gift to the community. And again, I'm on the shoulder of giants with that. I culled a lot of data from Dragon Magazine, going all the way back to issue 5, if I'm being completely honest with you, to look at how it had been done for both ideas and to avoid repetition. And I think you'll find that I've put a pretty unique spin on it, and it's something that I hope everyone will read and use and enjoy. I've gotten pretty good feedback on that so far. Couple of funny bits of feedback. Someone asked me if I was going to include a fly spell that included some rather gruesome material components and involved harm to a little one. And I said, well, no, certainly I'm not going to be doing that. And then someone else asked me, a different person said, well, this is really nice. What about a white witch? And I said, well, witches can be of any alignment, play a lawful good, neutral good, or even chaotic good witch. And there you go. And they, no, that's not right. And I said, well, good luck making one of your own. I mean, just stay away from some of the higher order of spells like demonic possession and disintegrating touch and so on and etc. And I think you'll be just fine. But who knows? Is the witch going to be in the same area as the modules? No, Vaughn. It's out there. It's out on the internet. You can go and you can track me down on social media, and you can find links to it there. You know what? I am feeling particularly generous. In the last minute we have left, because we are starting in less than a minute, let me hop over to my own Twitter feed. This is how much I like you guys. This is how much I care about you guys. Let me find the link. Hopefully, we've got 30 seconds. Let's, you know what? Here, I'll go there and I'll copy. And here you go, folks. It's right there in the chat. You can find that and you can read that. And I did that with 10 seconds to spare. So help yourselves to that. I may be cleaning up the format of it and altering it, but if I do, I'll make an announcement about that. And now it's time for me to stop with the ceaseless self-promotion. And let's welcome back our adventurers. The setting, ladies and gentlemen, is 1928 in the Massachusetts city of Arkham, just north of Boston. A seaside town notable for its university. It's quiet, Georgian beauty. Set your minds to a simpler time when mankind had not yet pushed out into the darkness with torch upraised, when he still considered the center of certain continents wild and unreachable places, when things that were better left alone were left alone. And let us welcome our players this evening. Of course, we have Perry Agley, Esquire, played by the inimitable Doomsword Deathmaster.
Hello, gentlemen.
Kevin is playing Dalton Werner.
Hey, y'all.
We have Jane Carter, played by our own Connect One.
Hello, gentle peeps.
We have Philip Teague, played by Tonka Todd. And of course, we have Yang Yan Zhao, playing the role of Charlton Wiggins. Welcome.
Good evening there, Bill.
Welcome to all of our players.
Not to be confused with Charlton Heston.
Not to be confused with Charlton Heston, no. So we are experiencing a little bit of difficulty with our dice overlay. So we're going to be rolling these dice in an opaque tray. Hopefully you folks will be able to see it. I, as the game master, can of course see it. So let us return to the scene where we last left our investigators. Seeking a missing person. They had gone forth into Arkham at the behest of his father. Does anyone remember his name? Did anyone take notes?
David Simmons.
That's right.
David Thomason, and the father was Caesar Thomason.
That's right. David Thomason, the heir to the Thomason shipping fortune. He himself had endeavored to study the sciences, the movement of planets and stars, and had sent you all an excited telegram saying that he was on the verge of a discovery that would put his name in the astronomical textbooks, along with names like Lowell and Van Oort and so on. So it was quite strange that a fortnight later, he all received a rather worried telegram from his father, a man who had never shown any great interest in the sciences. His head meant more for practical matters of finance and business. He reached out to you saying that David had simply disappeared after a row with his father that sent David to a much less reputable part of Arkham, where he said he could more easily consider and continue his study of the stars. You have all investigated this new locale, but there's no sign of David. So you're currently following up leads, and most curious, in his tiny domicile there in the high end of the city of Arkham, so-called because its position in narrow, winding, upwards leading streets, not because of any great luxury. In David's ramshackle little apartment, amongst his stacks and stacks of astronomy texts, his large and complicated and heavy telescope, you found a business card for an art studio for a Mademoiselle Casilda. And as chance would have it, right across the street from the building where David's apartment is located is Casilda's art gallery and art studio. And you currently find yourselves walking around to the back side of it. So investigators, does anyone have any questions before we proceed?
Can we look in the window and see what is left in there? Because you said it was recently vacated, but also recently occupied?
I did not say it was vacated. I said there was a for rent sign in, but that the inside of it looked like it was still occupied. And what you see when you look through are some easels with some character studies on the canvases. Some canvases are covered up. There's a jar of paintbrushes, a tin of turpentine, a jar full of a murky liquid you might presume to be water for washing off watercolor brushes, and indeed an easel and a smock discarded across the back of a chair. At a glance, you might presume this to be a working, if not terribly busy, artist's studio. So what will you do?
I
Looking at the
suppose we
artwork-
continue around.
Looking at the
Well,
artwork,
yeah.
can I do? Okay,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, good.
I was just going to say, going around the building.
Okay.
I believe we were following Dalton. Yeah.
Okay. But you said something about looking at the artwork?
Looking at the artwork, can I determine what level of skill or expertise or whatever would be the artists that are creating such?
At a glance, it seems to be fairly competent. The use of angles and lighting and so on seems to be well within most late impressionist schools you would place it. But let me see here. Let me pull up your character sheet. Because I know that your character is a bit of a dilettante and you have some not inconsiderable artistic skill. Yes, you have a 45 in painting. Give me a painting roll, please, if you would. Oh, my apologies. Do you guys need the dice rolling tray? Oh, no, I guess not. And so we have a 83. Or is that an 83 or a 63? 83. Okay.
I don't know. It's flashing at me. It's really weird.
It looks perfectly competent. There's nothing much to say for it, other than it seems to be fairly competently rendered.
So I look at our group and say, they seem to know what they're doing. So let's go with that.
All right.
It could just be a normal art school. Maybe someone should go in and ask around.
Oh, we'll go in.
It was locked, so we're going in the back
Yes.
just because it's less conspicuous. So I did put a trip on there to let us know if somebody opened that door, but we're going to the back to see. So we'll parade around. You said I had to go halfway around the block to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we're gonna see what's in there. We see if it's open. See if we see any kind of recent activity back there. That kind of thing.
Okay, so you walk around the back of the block. You have to watch out for the occasional rat that skitters across as you walk down the alley. The smell here is fairly unpleasant. You're between a shuttered shop and a butcher shop, and the sight of the rat kind of gives you pause as you move on. One can only hope that there are traps laid out. Coming around the back of the building, you find yourself in a narrow street, not so much an alley, but it's clear that it has been used as one. There's fire escapes here and again, and you begin to make your way back up the block. Somewhere from either direction, in front of you or behind you, you hear cackling laughter. Kind of just catches you. You don't see anyone. The narrow street between the two blocks just kind of winds south and away from you. South and downward.
Dalton's gonna check the roof lines, See if
Okay.
there's somebody on an escape or maybe on the roof looking down on us.
No, but give me, let's see. Give me a listen roll, Dalton.
Right.
That's your 55%.
Did it roll? Oh, there it goes. 69, dude.
Nice.
420.
420. Yeah, no, it just kind of the echo of it. It was loud enough to create an echo, but not enough that you could pinpoint where it had come from.
Did
Can we?
did it sound male, female, something otherworldly? What did it sound like?
You don't just a cackle.
Okay.
I hold a kerchief up to my nose to stifle the smell, and I look around and the top of the buildings and doorways and such as trying to discover what may be making the noise.
Mm. You don't see or hear anything yourself. You had a question, Yang.
No, same as Kevin's.
Okay. You proceed back to the north up the alleyway. There is what you presume must be the art school door. It has had many, many, many letterings painted over, but there's fresh yellow letters, and it reads Mademoiselle Casilda's Art Studio. Please knock.
Is it wood?
Yes.
And I look up and see, is there anything attached to the top of the door, or even if it's on the inside, like something that rings a bell or pulls a...
Oh, you can't see this. It's set into a brick wall, and the only windows are high up on the wall on the second story.
Well, I mean, at the top of the door, like on the jamb, I don't see anything that's not normal wood up there.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Although, let's see. You're examining the door. How about a spot hidden roll for Philip Teague, please?
Spot hidden, coming right up, Chief.
All right, that is going to be a 60 as your target.
Huh. Okay. Let me try that again.
All right. If you need to roll me to roll it for you, I can.
Okay, it's saying an unexpected error occurred. Please try.
Oh, that's no good, folks. I'd say I like what they're what they try to do over at the DD Dice website. Sometimes it just hitches up. Let me see here. So let's see. This is for Philip Teague. Okay, Philip, you have left a narrow, stinking alley into a slightly broader and less smelly street.
Outstanding. Is there anything of note around?
Well, you did hear that laugh. If you want to give me a listen roll.
Alrighty. Let me roll now. No, it's still won't let me.
That's all right. I am as your keeper am here to help. A 40, and your listen roll is, let's see. Phil Teague listen is going to be
That should be
50. So you very, very clearly hear echoing around. It sounds like it was from some distance to the south, just like a loud barking laugh or cackle some distance to the south. It's definitely out of sight. My goodness, what's happened? The dice roller is acting even more spurious. Well, I'm just I'm going to have to turn this thing off, guys. At least on the screen. And I promise I will keep you all out there in TV land apprised of who's rolling what, and we'll get it fixed between now and next week. Okay, so unless that will come back up. Nope, still gebroken.
Maybe if you click roll dice, it'll let you back into your room.
All right, let's have a gander here, perhaps. Let's put that back up. I apologize, folks. We do want to keep this. Nope. Roll. No, it's just not working tonight. Not in the visible sense. So I promise you, folks out there watching the live stream, I will tell you what the die rolls are as they come up. So to move on. And so, yes, you hear a cackle down the street. The door is as I mentioned it. So what do you want to do, investigators?
Well, from my perspective, I spun around. Those guys observed what they observed, and I was basically flat-footed for that occasion. And I'm waiting on some sort of indication. Generally, I stick pretty tight to Dalton.
Okay.
Because I know he'll save my ass if I screw up.
One would hope.
I'll lean over.
He needs to, because I got the dirt.
I'll lean over and say, should we knock or just go in?
Shouldn't we knock? I mean,
Well, it
the
says to
sign
knock,
says to
but-
knock.
But it's closed, I don't know. I
Well,
guess
there might
let's
be
just see
somebody
what
in the
happens.
background. I mean,
I'll take my
shouldn't we
hand
be
and I'll
polite?
wrap the shaven haircut on the back door.
He's at us.
I mean, I'm all for knocking, but hey, if you want to do something else, that's up to you.
Okay, well, Dalton, you have knocked, and there is no response.
Is the door locked? I'll check the knob.
It's loose, but it's locked. Kind of rattles a little bit.
Okay. Can I push it far enough to stick the business card from my wallet in there and see if I can get the latch to open?
I see. Okay, so let's take a look at Dalton, and let's see.
I have my handkerchief up and I'm whistling, looking into the alley.
Probably sneak, right?
You'd like it to be sneak, wouldn't you? You desperately would like it to be sneak.
Locksmith.
Yes, unfortunately, that will be a locksmith roll. If you do you have locksmith at all?
Oh yeah, 0.01% is my skill on that. I'm really astute. Yep, that's a lock.
Yes.
I'll ask around. I mean, even though it's not really lock related, I'll say, hey, anybody know how to open this?
Sir, that's what you're here for.
So I'll fiddle with the card and see if I can get it through, and then otherwise, we're gonna do the foot opening method.
Okay, well, you have a 45% luck, so give me a luck roll, please, in the dice tray. And again, I
81.
will 81.
Or 80.
80, yeah. You pull your card out, and it's slightly ripped on the edge, covered with a little bit of rust and grease and creased. So,
all right, I'll back up. I'll put my shoe right on the latch, and I'll try to push it in with my leg.
okay. Let's see. Your strength is 9, and let me see here.
Am I rolling just for the? For
Man, I
everybody
thought
to
you
know?
were burly and stuff.
Yeah, I am
Damn.
from a voice and attitude standpoint. Yes.
Well, that's good enough. So am I.
Right. Okay. Um, so your size is
15.
is 15. Okay. So we're not going to do that on damage. So let's see. Let us. I'm going to say that the door has a strength of 9, and you have a strength of 9. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, roll percentile dice. We're doing an opposed roll. The strength of you versus the strength of the door.
49.
Okay, you put your foot against the door and it resists for just a minute, but something pops and gives in, and the door slowly creaks open. Now roll your luck.
Nice.
49 again.
Okay, well,
Cue the scary music.
Well, your luck is 45, and just across the street, you hear a window open up, and a man in an undershirt only leans out, and he says, "What's all that noise down there in the alley?
Oh,
What are you
shit, it's
doing?"
cops.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
Limited number of voices I can do. So yes, an
Way more than me.
immigrant's voice calls down to you. What are you doing?
Is it
That's
dark
from
down
above.
No, it's day. It's an overcast day, but it's still day, and he's looking down straight at the lot of you standing there.
And this is where you said across the street. Is this back down the alley and up a
This
floor?
is you've gone off the main street, down the alley, up the side street, and you're now on the back side of the studio, and the back of tenements are facing down at you.
That's what I figured. Oh, yell out, "Good man, do not disrupt a police investigation. I shall have to have you sued. There's
Okay.
attorney-client privilege involved."
Okay. Let's see. I think this is probably going to be a persuasion check, possibly fast talk. I tell you what, make it a fast talk roll. And we see.
Oof. 69. Barely missed it, but
He says, "Yeah, and if you were the cops, you wouldn't be busting into the back of that place, would you?" And you see him, he's got in his hand, he's leaning out. "Yeah, there's a broad, and there's 4 stiffs in suits down there." And he hangs it up and folds his meaty arms and says, "We'll see about you."
I look at him and say, "Oh, my bad. I have to get in. I have a job to finish, and they didn't leave me the key. It's my fault."
Okay, give me a fast talk roll. Your fast talk is 45%. You rolled a
rolls
64.
today.
You rolled a 64. He squints and goes, "I got my eye on you. You don't move an inch." So what are you guys gonna do?
I'm
With
gonna look at
persuasion, I would have made it. Just to say.
I look at him. Does he have a phone in his hand? Is that what it is?
He did.
It was a phone. It wasn't like a shoe or something.
Yeah, it was a phone. It
Okay.
wasn't a shoe. He's not Maxwell Smart.
Well, like just
Yeah, he wasn't
1928.
pretending.
Okay, damn. Well, cheese it. I think we don't want to be here, especially with my buddies, the cops, showing up soon.
Make haste.
All right.
I
So-
make sure to keep my head down as we leave the immediate street, so they can't see my face over my hat.
Okay. So, go ahead, Charlton.
Well, Charlton's going to try, he's going to walk over to him. Good sir, I think perhaps we can come to an arrangement.
You can make your arrangement with the cops.
Well, we could, but I'd rather make it with you. You see my sister there, she's got to get in. She's got to finish her painting. She's a little off. We just want to make sure she's happy, get her painting, go back home, so we don't have to come back to this place again.
Give me a fast talk roll.
He does not have fast talk.
Do you have persuasion?
I do have persuasion.
Give me a persuasion roll then.
Oof.
Nice.
9.
Oh, 9. Oh, yes. No, that is good.
All right. He kind of rubs his chin and says, all right. I'll call the precinct house and I'll tell them I was mistaken. Your sister over there, she's a good-looking broad. So yeah.
Whoa, be careful there. And he'll take a 10 spot out of his pocket and say, "We're sorry to cause you some trouble, sir."
He claps his hands. You realize you just gave him like the equivalent of $200 or $100, a 10 spot.
Well, if it keeps him quiet.
Yeah, that he disappears. You hear like a woman.
Sir.
Yeah,
One of the
inside the house. He's gone in and he's gone in and he's closed the window behind him. So for the moment, you think perhaps you bought his silence. You kicked in the door, but Perry and Dalton. Now, I didn't get from Todd. I didn't get your actions from you, but Perry and Dalton and Jane have started to evacuate the scene. What is Philip Teague doing, Todd?
Well, if they're evacuating the scene, he's gonna follow the crowd. He ain't gonna be left holding the bag.
All right, Charlton, you are by yourself. The door has been wrenched open. Your friends are nowhere to be seen.
Well, he's going to give a whistle and then wave towards the door, and then he'll walk in the door and hopefully someone will follow him.
Give me a listen roll. Anyone from the group?
All right.
Ooh,
19. Okay.
nice.
All right. This for the moment. I'm glad it's not on the screen. You guys have flooded. It looks like a Vampire the Masquerade game going on over there with all the D10s. But yes. So Dalton, you hear somebody. What do you do? I can't do it, and I wouldn't do it if I could. With the calling him back that way. So you walk in, and this is a storeroom. There are many, many easels stacked up here. There is a narrow staircase that goes up. There's a desk here with a lamp that is not lit. There are rolled up canvases, boxes, paint cans, all sorts of odds and ends here. And give me a spot hidden, if you would, please, Charlton. The rest of you guys are coming back down the alley now.
Right. And I'm going to watch that window just to make sure that guy doesn't come back out.
18.
Okay. 18. All right. So Charlton, you notice that there's a stack of crates that is in front of a door. Like if you weren't looking around, you might have missed it. But a stack of crates stands in front of a door against the wall.
Before I get to the door,
Mhm.
you mentioned there was a desk. Is it like an artist desk or more like an office desk?
No, it's more like an office desk. There's a blotter on it. There's a desk calendar. There's a telephone here, which has lots of paint on it. Give me a sand roll as you step around the desk to examine these things.
Oh, lovely. Is that also percentile?
Yes, that's going to be percentile, and we're going to base this on your character's sanity. So 19. You look down and see there's a large sticky red pool, and you kind of go, "Huh? Oh no, it's paint. It's merely spilled red paint."
Do I notice any particular information on that desktop calendar or any, I don't know, any paperwork or something that would catch my eye as unusual for a artist studio?
As unusual for an artist studio? Well, let's see. Right about this time, the rest of you guys make it around. The door is wide open. The fellow who accosted you is nowhere to be seen, nor is Charlton, for that matter. Charlton, let's see. What would we put this under? I tell you what, I think a library use roll would probably help you out a little bit here. So give me a library use roll.
Oh.
Yeah, there's numbers scribbled here. There's a couple of phone numbers. There's various, Smith family portrait, a date from 6 months ago. It's blotted with paints of various color, little bits of yellowed dust here and again. So the rest of you are there. What are you doing? What are the rest of you doing? We'll start with Perry. What is Perry doing?
Right. So we've got. Can I assume that I have a lighter of some sort?
Sure, you can. I mean, there's light filtering in from the alleyway outside. It's a little dim in here.
No, I mean like a Zippo or something. Sorry if I interrupted.
You've got a Ronson lighter, new gadget, very high tech.
Right. I'd like to go ahead and light one of those two. I would assume the one to my left, one of those two unlit lamps, to shed some light in the area.
They are electric lamps back here. They're electric lamps.
Oh, okay. Is there a switch on the wall or something?
Yes, one of the little, it's a little circular tab you can turn.
Yeah, I'll just hit one.
Okay.
Whichever one lights up, I'm cool with.
All right, so you're illuminating the room, and what about Dalton?
I'm going to make sure everybody's in so I can close the door behind us.
Okay.
That way
Jane?
it's not looking. Yep.
I'm looking around at all of the artwork to see if there's anything that's out of the ordinary, all the supplies and such, and look around.
Okay. And Philip, what are you up to?
Philip is going to look around for like a day planner or something like that would have evidence that this woman actually met with our missing friend. Okay.
All right. So let's go down the line. Perry, you have switched on a light. This is a dingy, crowded room. There's a path from a door that you guess leads into the outer studio area back here. that is it's just a path through boxes. You'd have to step over piles and bundles of canvas and other art supplies to navigate to or from that door. So Kevin, what is Dalton? Everyone has gotten in, so what is Dalton doing now?
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So Dalton's going to go look and see if he can open. Well, first and foremost, he's going to try to get to the front door without being seen from the outside.
Okay.
And he's going to try to open the door, unlock it, just in case.
Okay. That's going to require a massively successful sneak roll because the front of the studio is entirely plate glass.
Okay.
There's a few easels here and there, but you can, it's basically the door is going to open out and say, "Hey, here I am."
Okay. If it's obvious that there's no way to get that door open without being seen, then I'll just see if I can help somebody else search through something, the desk or whatever, if there's paperwork that needs to be reviewed.
Okay. So Philip, there is a ledger on the desk behind you. If you wish to look through it, let's see. Philip Teague. You have a base 10% for accounting. If you want to give me an accounting roll to try and make a little bit of sense of this ledger because it is prices and whatnot.
Okay. And here we go with the beautiful crystal dice.
All right. A 99, sir. I'm afraid, you can't make heads or tails of it. I mean, you can tell there's addresses and there's numbers there, but what pattern they might, the ledger might tell you, you don't know. But give me a library use roll to follow that up.
Alrighty.
Because I will give you 2 pieces of information depending on how good your roll is. 61, and your library use for Teague is 75.
All right.
Okay, so first of all, there is a date of 3 weeks ago that has David's name, the date for 3 weeks ago, and then the rest of that line in the ledger is blank. And the dates of people who've apparently purchased art, sat for portraits, or whatever, all started about 6 months ago. So that's as far back and as far forward as the ledger goes. The beginning is 6 months ago. The last client listed in the ledger is David, and it was about 2 weeks ago.
Is this a one-story structure? Is there an upstairs to this place, or?
There is a flight of stairs. Basically, you go like up 5 stairs. It's the stairs are in the corner, so you'll go up 5 stairs, sharp right turn, up more stairs to a landing or a door. You're not sure.
Okay. Philip will go upstairs to see if maybe there is an office or some more clues up here.
Okay. Who is nearest to the back door?
I'm afraid that would be me, having hit the light switch.
That's fine. Give me a listen roll, please.
Ah, 81.
Okay. As you are mounting the stairs and going around, the back door opens. there is a pale, slender woman in a coat. She's got a beret on. She's holding a cigarette in her fingers, and she goes, "Who the hell are you people? And what business have you breaking into my studio?"
Oh, mademoiselle, Casilda, this is your studio, eh?
Yes, it's my fucking studio. That by the way,
nice
that
mouth.
shocks you. That just like you have about 10. She walks over and just shoulders past. Gosh, I guess it would be Dalton, and says, "You have about 5 seconds before I call the police."
Certainly, and I understand that. However, we noticed movement within. We were investigating a mysterious circumstance across the street, and there was movement within the shop.
Fast talk. Make it a good one. And he gets
It's on the way. 09.
09. She crosses her arms. So you're saying you saw someone break into the shop, and out of the goodness of your heart,
I did not see them break into the shop. I only saw movement within and light. So we came to investigate. We happened to be in the area, and we happened to receive a business card from your associate or client, David Thomason, for we are on a mission from his father to discover whereabouts he might have traveled to.
let me see here. I'm going to say, Dalton, what is your, let me see. Figure out what this needs to be here. Dalton, what is your, so your int is 10.
Yes. I do have psychology. That helps.
Okay. Give me a percentile die roll, and you want roll under here. You want roll under a target.
31.
31.
Actually, it's 30. It's 30.
It's 30. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you notice she goes over and she closes the ledger. You know, she closes it, picks it up, puts it, you know, just kind of puts it in a drawer as she's talking to you all, and says, "So, you're looking for someone called David, you say?"
David Thomason is who we were hoping to get some details on. Yes.
Oh, right. He was always he's the peeping Tom with the spyglass. Yes, I remember him. I told him he could come and sit for a portrait if he'd like to. He's not a not handsome young man. Tell me, would any of you like to sit for a portrait or a sculpture?
Perhaps at a later time. But right now we're worried about our friend David.
Of course. Well, I'd love to help you out. Which way did you come in again? Oh, yes, the back door.
Where exactly do you do your paintings at, Miss?
In my studio.
And that is this building here, or?
Yes, it's where you're standing, where you were about to go up and go into my private apartments, which I would prefer you not to. I presume you didn't see you didn't see a cat burglar run up the stairs and try and break in. So, although I will tell you, could I get one of you burly young men to help me move a package of art supplies into the studio, please?
Sure.
I believe Dalton is your man, or one of them. One of them is your man. However, I must clarify that indeed we did not see somebody on the top floor. We saw someone on the bottom floor. And we saw
Wonderful.
movement of light, and they may still be in here.
She pulls out a .22 revolver and says, "I've dealt with rats in this building before." Her like the corner of her eye kind of twitches a little bit. But anyway, so she puts the gun back in her purse and says, "Yes, if you could help me get this in, that would be oh so helpful."
No problem, miss.
All right, so she directs you outside. There is a box that is it's approximately 5 by 3 by 3. It weighs it's not terribly heavy. It weighs maybe 75 pounds. Person on each end can move it in here.
I'll grab
Come
the
on,
other end of it.
Dalton.
Yeah, I'll grab the other end of it and say, where you want it, miss?
Just right here will do for now. Thank you.
Does it feel like there's a small body in the 5 by 3 by 3 container?
Does it feel like there's a small body in the 5 by 3 by 3? That is a very leading question for your keeper.
Could be a child, could be a small woman, a dwarf.
Give me an idea roll, please.
Idea.
That's
Right.
that's a pretty good stat for you, actually. 43. It's the right size. You don't know if there's one in it, but you're like,
Can we hear anything like sliding around in there, or like can we tell what kind of material whatever's in there is?
Yeah, I'm going to say not. She just directs you to sit it on the floor and thanks you, and then tells you, now, if you'll all please get the hell out of my gallery, I have work to do.
I look at her and say, "Madame, I empathize with you. I understand the art world and how difficult it is and how competitive it is. But we're here to find out about David."
Give me a persuasion roll, please. And for you, that is going to be 65%.
That's good.
Not good enough on the dice.
Not good enough on the dice. She steeples her fingers and says, "Frankly, dear, I don't think you understand a damn thing about the art world or what I do or what my concerns are. Why don't you go look in one of the gin joints or speakeasies for David, or maybe go stand up on that hill he was always going on about by the university, staring at the sky at night. That seemed to be what interests him the most. I have
mean,
work.
that's where we're going to go, but obviously you know so much about him."
He was a
Just saying.
customer
More than
with
that.
with peculiar interests.
More than
Might
that.
as well. Might I bum, for lack of a better term, a cigarette? I'm fresh out.
I'm afraid I smoked my last one. I'll have to direct you to the pharmacy.
Philip will walk over to the box that they just moved and flip open the lid and go, "Well, maybe there's cigarettes in here."
So the box is nailed shut, and when you reach for it, she says, "I beg your pardon." I mean, it's not a cardboard box, and it's a wooden crate, and it's nailed shut.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to bother you further, miss. We're on our way out, but have you seen a man around here, very disheveled? He looks like he's chasing the dragon.
There are bums. There are always bums.
Well, there was one man who specifically, he used to live in the apartment across the street where David lives.
Give me a persuasion check.
All right. Oh,
You're batting 1,000 on persuasion. But she is getting cross. She says, "Look, there are old drunks wandering up and down these streets at night. I don't bother them, and they don't bother me. If you're looking for one specific who says that he used to live in the flop house across the street, I recommend that's where you start. Now, if you're not here to sit for a painting, if you're not here to sit for a sculpture, then get out."
Might I give you my card? I am Perry Agley, Esquire, obviously of the Lincolnshire Esquires, and not the undesirable sort. I specialize in the types of cases that may happen to you. Should
She
this burglar remain.
takes it out and throws it on her desk. Her arms are folded, and she's glaring at you all.
Well, I wouldn't want you as a client anyway. I guess we leave.
All right.
Yeah. And before Philip leaves, he stands at the door and he says, "I said good day, madam." And then he turns back around and says, "I said good day," and he slams the door.
Okay. All right. So you have all left Mademoiselle Casilda's art studio.
Can we get some new dice? Just ask it for a friend.
Can you get some new dice? Asking for rent. You know what? I can hit refresh on the dice roller page if it will make you happy.
Hey, if it gives us a new random seed or something, anything.
All of these dice have different random seeds, so you can pick whatever you want and see how it goes.
I'm refreshing
Like you
my
can
dice
search
too,
dice.
just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can search dice and do whatever you want, and it even shows a roll distribution if you dig into it.
Am I missing something? Is refreshing the dice some kind of euphemism for something? Am I missing that?
No. I just meant I'm refreshing the web page that the die roller sits on. So, what are your what are your plans now, please?
I'm leaving.
Oh,
Yeah.
At this point, we have the fill.
Yeah.
well, Charles. Well, I think we should look around for that guy, Jane.
The same
Yeah.
guy that we ran off.
No,
Yeah,
no, not that guy. The guy from yesterday with
Yeah,
the
the-
long hair.
All right.
He might know something more.
He's probably sitting at the front. I mean, that seemed to be his thing. I mean,
All right.
according to the landlord, he's there like every day.
Well, let's take a look.
All right.
Well, shoot. I guess what we're gonna do a short neighborhood canvas, walking around looking for the guy.
Yeah, I think so. Before we
Okay.
go to the hill.
All right. Yeah. Let's see if we can find that guy.
I mean, he's the one that led us to the fire escape behind the building, then let us get in the apartment.
All right. Okay, so you begin to canvass the neighborhood. Walking up and down side streets and alleyways and so on. When you come out of the alley, Do you go left, which will take you back in the direction of the art studio? Do you go right? Do you cross the street and then go left or right? What do you do? What direction are you guys taking? I know we're not working from a map here, but kind of give me an idea, some of what you guys are up to.
Well,
We
the
don't
I
have
apartment
have
was
nothing
across
else to
the
discern
street,
from here.
right?
I will follow you, and then I
Yes,
believe
the
we go to
apartment
Observation
is
Hill.
across the street.
So I'll look towards the apartment and see if that guy's standing out there, or if we see that guy over that direction.
You do not.
Okay, so we're gonna go the other direction.
Should
Okay.
we split in two to cover a couple of directions?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe
Yeah.
it'd be better if we split off Scooby Doo style to cover greater ground.
All right. Yep. Let's do that.
All right. So you are splitting the party then. That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Cthulhu game. What could go wrong?
What could possibly happen?
Todd could happen.
Yes, yes, Todd can happen.
And I sincerely apologize for that.
You don't have to, Todd. Sorry, I'm just bringing up some notes here, guys.
That sounds like a IBM Model M.
It is not. It is a mechanical keyboard. It is just a small form factor Red Dragon keyboard I have here.
Red Dragon. I've owned like 3 of them. They're
That bodes
brilliant.
well.
I keep
Yes.
expecting the computer to say, "Shall we play a game?" after he gets through typing.
Nothing like that. But anyway, so as you are exploring up and down the streets, you pass the occasional person strolling along, some tit-tats, some hellos and whatnot. Let's see. I'm going to say, Charlton, give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh, 11.
11. Okay, you are just on fire with the dice tonight. You see a fellow looking around furtively. He's kind of... In fact, we're gonna kind of do an opposed roll. There are opposed rolls in Call of Cthulhu here, but you kind of caught sight of him first. He kind of glances in your direction, but doesn't really see you as he's already moving down a very narrow alley. It's like a door width down an alley, and going kind of as stealthily as he can as he sneaks up this alley.
Is it the guy we're looking for or just some random guy?
It is not. It's just some random guy, but he is very much on the sneak.
Who is with me?
Yes, who is with Charlton? Because you guys had said you were the broad.
Okay.
Dean is with Charlton.
Well.
Jean is the broad now? Thanks.
Come on, she's a
I
dame.
didn't start it.
So he'll tap Jane on the shoulder and point towards that guy skulking down the alley. And nothing bad ever happens in alleys, so I'm going to stealthily follow him.
Okay, give me a listen check as you do that.
I give him a thumbs up and I'm watching his back.
Oh, crap. All right, 91.
Okay, when you move down the alley, which is open at the end, but it is fairly long, and this guy was not exactly sprinting, you don't see him.
Well,
Do
that's...
I see him?
No, you don't either. Jane, give me a listen roll, please.
Okay. 12.
A 12. Okay, so Jane, as you are approaching, you hear a metallic scraping sound, followed by a pronounced metallic click, click.
I'm going to drop to the ground and I'm going to whisper to Charlton, drop.
Okay,
So-
you are lying in absolute filth.
Charlton will look to see if there's like a doorway he could hide in or something to hide behind.
About a third of the way down the alley, there's a very shallow doorway that you can go into.
Okay, he will attempt to hide there.
Okay. You dip into the doorway. Give me a listen roll. The door, by the way, is metal.
Okay. 37.
37. Do you make your listen roll?
Listen is 30. I do not.
Okay. Yeah, so you're pressed up against this metal door in this alley. No one says anything to you. You don't hear anything.
All right. Well, if I don't hear anything or whatever, after a while, I'll sort of step out of the doorway and wave to Jane that it's safe.
Okay. Jane, the front of your woolen coat is now covered in filth.
That's okay. I'm going to listen before I get up, just to make sure.
All right, give me a listen roll, please. And you got a 84, so no. You don't hear anything either.
I'm going to kind of sidle over to the wall and carefully get up, so I'm pressed against the wall just in case.
Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, there's fire escapes overhead, but the ladders are all up on them. There's the end of the alley in front of you. While you guys are doing this, what are Perry, Dalton, and Philip doing?
I had nothing of import to do. I figured I'd end up retiring at some point here to make my way back to Observation Hill.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody says otherwise, I'll follow them.
All right. What about Philip and Dalton?
Dalton's gonna walk down the street end. So how's it? Is it blocks? How is it arranged? Is it haphazard? Right?
Yeah.
Is it like Avenue A through Avenue M? Right? Is it?
It's just you've got major cross streets, but you've got alleys and small streets. You've got the streets like the one that went behind the building, which you might just say is a bigger alley. There's a lot of construction here that goes back to like 1800.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to just walk the blocks and see. I'll look down them. See if I see anything going on. If I don't see anything, go to the next one. 5 or 6 blocks, and if there's nothing, then I'll head back with and try to catch up to Perry.
Okay. And what about Philip? What is Philip doing?
Philip is going to follow him.
Okay. All right. So give me an idea roll if you would, Yang. Actually, both of you can give me an idea roll. Can I?
32.
32. All right. And 62. So, Charlton, it occurs to you, and Jane, you're just like, the only door you see in this alley is right next to you. You didn't hear him running. There's garbage cans and crates and so on further up this alley. So he didn't come back past you. So maybe logically there's only one place he could have gone.
I'm going to look at Charlton and I'm going to say, there's a store here. Should I open it?
Actually, Charlton, before she says anything, you're like, wait a minute. This door. Sorry, Connect, you didn't get your idea roll, so.
This must be the door that he went in.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should just open it.
There's no knob on this side.
Oh. Well,
And there's about eye height, there's a rectangular slot in the door that is closed.
do I smell anything other than the garbage in the alley?
You do not smell anything other than the garbage in the alley.
Can I investigate next to the door on the wall to see if there's any like odd bricks or anything that might like be a bell or something that might trigger the door?
Sure. You look around. You can give me a spot hidden roll.
And while she's doing that, just to clarify, is this during Prohibition or not during Prohibition?
This is during Prohibition.
He'll sort of elbow Jane. I know you're a very good girl, but I think this might be a speakeasy.
Okay. Well, maybe there's a special knock or something. Try it. I'll step out of the way.
Well, after she's done looking for hidden stuff, Charlton will try knocking.
Okay. The rectangle, the panel in it slides out of the way. These eyes kind of look back and forth between you two, and the voice is, "Who sent you?"
David.
"I don't know, no David. Shank."
He'll knock again.
Slides back open.
Come on, man. I'm real thirsty.
"Yeah, there's a soda fountain 2 blocks over."
It's not that kind of thirsty. I'm trying to impress the girl here. Come on. Help me out.
Give me a persuasion roll.
$20?
Okay. He says, "What color is your money?"
The best color in the world. Green.
"Well, let's see it."
Charlton will pull a money clip out of his vest pocket and show him that there's cash in there and then put it back in.
"Very pretty." You see
Well, I brought my girl.
You see his fingers come up and he does that.
Would Charlton, being a man about town and a bachelor, would he have an idea what the going rate is to bribe a bouncer?
At an illegal drinking club in a back alley in Arkham, Massachusetts, you have no idea.
Yes.
He could want all of it. He could want some of it. I tell you what, give me a Well, what do you want to offer him? Let me ask you that. What do you want to offer him?
I'm going to offer him a $5.
Okay, give me a bribery roll, which you have at 10%, but there's going to be a modifier. Don't,
That's not good. Okay. Oof. 62.
62. Okay. He snatches it. You hear it click. And he's come right in.
And Charlton will turn to Jane and say, "My dear," and we'll go in. Nothing bad ever happens at illegal speakeasies.
Yeah.
I'll put my arm, my hand on his arm and that, and walk in like we own the place.
So you guys know the classic modern cinema picture of a speakeasy. It's like you go down the back alley and through the metal door, and then it's there's plush carpet and there's velvet covered tables with gambling, and there's all sunken tables, and there's guys in tuxedo and women in flapper dresses and long cigarette holders and opulent bars with top shelf and champagne and all that. This is not a single bit of that. This is a moderately lit dive bar.
Nice.
Nobody raises an eye at you when you come in. There's mostly, it looks like working class destitute types here. And this guy is standing right behind the door, and literally he refuses to open the door much wider than to let your bodies slide in, and the door bangs shut, and he pulls a bolt. This guy has a hog's leg in a shoulder holster, and he looks like 250 pounds of mad.
Okay. All right.
All right. Drink your booze. And he goes back, and he turns his back to you and is staring at the door.
All right. Do we see our friend from before in here?
Give me a spot hidden roll.
Should I roll as well? Oh,
Oof.
I don't. Should I?
Yeah, you better
I try to
roll.
look?
Well, you didn't get a good look at the guy, so I mean, you just basically saw the back of him as
37.
one of the alley.
I
So
did better, but maybe
yeah,
not
it's
enough.
some guy in a flat cap and a tattered wool overcoat, and there are 8 people like that in here. There's a guy, and I mean, it is a bar in the sense that this is the guy pouring the drinks. He does look a little bit the part in that he's got a towel over one arm and he's polishing a glass with it, and he just kind of looks at you and says, "What'll it be for you and the lady, pal?"
What you got?
Gin. I got gin and I got beer. If you want something fancy, take a train to New York or down to Boston. I don't care.
Gin sounds perfect for me.
It's $1 a glass.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thinking that it's probably better that we actually drink something since we came in. He'll pay the $1 for gin and whatever Jane wants.
I'll take a gin, but I'll ask for what the heck do you call it when you
Tonic water?
you add the yeah, thank you. On the rocks besides. Stretch it out.
You each get a glass of gin. He pours it out of a gin bottle, whether it is actually, distilled somewhere other than a bathtub elsewhere in Arkham. You're not entirely sure. It's vaporous, shall we say. So
I try to hide my wince when I sip.
okay, it does heat you up. So let's go back over for just a second. Perry, you have gone to Observation Hill, yes, and Dalton, you've gone with.
Yeah, if there was nobody on those blocks, then I'll catch up with Perry.
Yeah, and I didn't know the exact time or whatever, so I figured I'd go retire, and then the plan would be on the following morrow to go to observation.
Okay, all right. So that's a little different
because we've got free stay at the mansion, right?
Right. Okay. So yes, you're going back. Philip and Dalton. Then what are you guys doing?
So there was nobody of note on the blocks as I walked down the street to look over.
When you guys walked down the street to look over, you didn't see anyone immediately. But both of you guys, give me a spot roll. This is not exactly spot hidden, but there's,
All right.
Me too on that one?
Yes, please.
$33.
Okay. So Philip, your spot hidden was spot on, and Dalton,
I'm way under.
you're way under. Okay, so both of you got that. As you're coming back up, you think you see there's a figure in a doorway on a side street. You can see like a dirty pant-clad leg sitting there, and the foot is twitching spasmodically.
Well, I'll tap him on the shoulder. I'll tap Philip on the shoulder and say, "Hey, let's go check him out." And then start heading over, see what gives.
Okay. Now, I don't think either one of you had been to David's old apartment the previous day or known about.
I was at the police station, so
that's right. You were at the police station, and so Philip was at the library. So there is a destitute individual. He has his back to you, and as you approach him, you can hear his breathing is very shaky, like it's through clenched teeth, and he's muttering something to himself. Sounds like kind of sobbing breaths.
I look him up and down and see if he's hurt or if he's just freaked out.
Give me a listen roll as you're approaching him.
All right. 59.
59. Your listen is 55. He's just kind of snibbling and so on. But how about a roll for Philip on listen? That is 50% chance for Philip.
Dun-dun-dun.
These dice hate us.
Oh no! What we get? I keep forgetting. 68. Okay, so yeah, he just kind of he has taken what looks like a broken piece of glass, and he has cut very extremely deeply into the palm of one hand. Blood is pooling on his lap. I'm going to need a sanity check from both of you. And I should point out, he's still doing it. Like, he didn't do it and then, Oh, I saw that 8 roll up for a second there and was like, yeah, oh, darn it. So, yeah, this is pretty awful. But he's like, he stops and looks at it and then goes back to work. He looks over his shoulder when he sees you guys and goes, and then goes back to work on his hand. Sanity checks from both of you again.
All right.
64. Who's got the blue dice?
That would be me.
That would be you. Okay, let's see. Teague, your sanity is 65. Oh, you rolled a 64. You lucky dog. You lucky. You're like seeing him bleeding like that, and obviously he was still doing it. That was pretty terrible. Seeing him go back to doing it like after he's seen you is worse, but you're still not. He's, So, what do you guys do?
I'm gonna step up and grab the hand with the glass in it and say, "Hey, what's up, bub?"
Okay, so that is going to be. Let's see. We're actually going to get into a little bit of a pose roll here. So, your strength is 12.
9.
And we're. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at Teague's character sheet. Your strength is 9. I'm going to say his dex isn't great. So this is 8, 9. Give me a roll. Give me a roll. We're looking for less than 55.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. 95.
Okay, yeah. He's like he yanks away from you with a snarl. And it's clear he's in pain, but he's not. He's not stopping.
How can I help you? I mean, is something wrong with your hand?
Give me a persuasion roll. Which I'm not sure what your persuasion is.
71's what I got for persuasion. It's 10%.
Your persuade is only 10%?
Well, it's
No.
untrained. It's untrained.
It's base. Your persuade baseline is 15.
Oh, it says 10 on my sheet. But
It should not.
okay.
Okay. He snarls and stands up and says, I have to remember. I have to remember. And he cackles and begins to stagger down the alley.
Is it the same cackle we heard before?
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's like this is the jump that was laughing at us earlier. We need to get him. I guess we'll try to get him.
Okay, what is Philip doing?
Philip is did he say let's get him out loud?
Did you say let's get him out loud?
I said it to him. I didn't yell it, but I said to Philip, "Let's get him."
Okay, well, Philip's going to get him.
Okay, so let's have a quick melee here because he does not necessarily want to be gotten. So let's see.
Oh, sure he does. He loves it. He got up today and said, "You know what? Today is the day I want to get God."
He just woke up this morning and said, "You know what? You know what? Just
you know what sounds fun? Let's just get God today."
just getting got. All right. So All right. Oh, hang on a second. I gotta get over to where I need to go. All right. So, who has the highest dex of you two? What is Phillips's dex?
Phillips is he's like a ninja. He has an 11 dex.
So he has the better dex. I'm at 8.
Okay, yeah, you and
donuts. I guess that's why I'm a detective or investigator.
Yeah.
That's why you have a size 15 or whatever.
Right.
So let's see. Let's see. You know what? We're going to keep this simple. Overcoming the target's strength with your strength. He's kind of a surprisingly strong fellow as you grab him and start to struggle with him there, Philip. So let's see. Your strength is 12. Give me a die roll where we want to beat a 55. We want a 55 or less.
Come on, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. 97.
97. He shot
God
you.
intended.
He has maniac strength and just shoves you as hard as he can. He staggers back. You've now got blood on your coat. He turns and he gropes around on the ground for another piece of glass. You may go next, please, Dalton. And again, we're looking at opposed strength scores here.
Oh, great. Here we go. 69. What the hell is going on?
He throws his shoulder into you, and now he is going to start to run, but he is not faster than you guys. So do you want to maintain contact and try and grab him?
Absolutely. It's personal now. Nobody throws a historian around and gets away with it.
Thank you for sticking around tonight, Lux. Have a lovely evening. Okay. So again, you guys will go first. So let's see some die rolls there.
All right, here we go. Well, I tell you, if he has to beat a 91, he ain't doing it.
Okay. Well, it is an opposed check. I should have rolled for him last round. It is an opposed check. So he is trying to push you away, and he does not. He is. You guys are kind of surrounding him. You haven't grabbed him, but he's not able to get away from you guys yet.
Let's keep after him. Philip is going to revert back to his days of playing high school football with the leather helmets, and he is just going to try to mollywop this guy.
Leather helmets? That was like 19. Well, yeah, no, leather helmets. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's going to be a another grapple check. So roll it.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
A history professor getting in a fight. What could? Yes!
You have him cinched around the waist and taken down. You have grabbed him. He is. So you can act now if you want, Dalton. What do you wish to do?
I'm going to try to keep his hands apart or get him to drop the glass if he hasn't already.
Okay, that's a opposed strength roll.
I need to do things I'm better at. 27.
27. So yeah, you got each of his wrists, and he is kicking and thrashing and trying to bite you. well, you hear his teeth clicking. So he's screaming and howling and kicking, and there are let me see. Let's see some luck rolls from you guys, actually.
Yeah.
Luckily,
it's the character's luck, not the player's luck today.
It's the character's luck, not the play. Exactly. So
32.
okay. So with that and my listen check for anybody, nobody comes. So what are you doing now that you've gotten this guy?
Philip is going to punch him. He's going to try to knock him out with a punch.
Okay. Well, let's have a look and see how that goes. Well, he's grappled, so a punch is going to be. Let's see. I'm going to give you a D3, which is a D6, and your strength. I don't really think you get a strength bonus for that. But yeah, you can go ahead. By the way, he's already taken a D6 damage from your tackle. So go ahead and roll that.
Okay, D6 damage.
So he's taken two basically bludgeoning damage. So go ahead now and roll first roll percent to punch him. It's going to be pretty easy. So
You say that, but I roll an 83.
An 83. Well, he is held, so that will actually connect. So you're going to do another D3, and this time a D3 plus 1.
Okay. So how do I do that on the roller?
Just roll a D6 and we'll divide it by 2 and then add 1.
Gotcha.
Okay, so he's whipping his head back and forth, and he's not cooperating with just hold still and let me beat you unconscious. So, yeah, you pop him one in the lip. I'm going to just make a quick roll for him there. That doesn't really seem to daze him. So let's do another opposed strength roll. Both of you guys are holding him. Either one of you can roll. You've got a pretty good chance of stopping him from getting up. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. You've got him pinned.
I'm gonna slap him in the face, not like to hurt him, but to try to get him to snap out, and tell him, hey, we're looking for David.
Okay. His eyes go momentarily clear, and he looks at you and says, yeah, I wish I could find him too. He knew what it was. He knew. He'd seen it. Do you know? And he looks back and forth between you, and then he says in a low whisper, have you seen the yellow sign? Give me a sand roll, if you would, please, team.
I just knew he was going to ask, do you know the Muffin Man?
67.
He did not. No. I'm sorry. That was for that was for Philip.
Oh, okay.
A sand roll for Philip. Well, no, I'm sorry. You know what, Todd? Before you roll that, give me an idea roll. Although you did blow that, and we will keep that. So you know what he's talking about. Now roll a D4. Take a 1-point sand loss. He just asked you something that you had read in that play, The King in Yellow.
Ooh.
That is something that Casilda's daughter, Camilla, said to her mother. Mother, have you seen the yellow sign? And this guy, this drunk, this bum, just bleated it out at you. With blood all over both of you. And he tried to carve something into the palm of his hand. He just shouted something in that book. You feel like someone has just walked over your grave. So let's leave you guys there and go back to the speakeasy. Charlton and Jane, you guys are enjoying your gin right now. What do you wish to do? There are other people in the bar, the speakeasy. There are a couple of fellows playing chess, just sort of sallow-faced guys, sitting there playing chess with each other. Almost everyone here is smoking. It is otherwise quiet.
I think Charlton is, for the moment at least, just going to try to listen in to other people's conversations, see if there's anything that seems pertinent to anything.
Okay, there is a faint, low murmur of conversation, so give me a listen roll. Okay, so, of course, I see that, yeah, so, yeah, Charlton, you're just catching snatches of conversation like, this stuff tastes like engine oil. Yeah, but where else are you going to get anything in here? Did you hear about Skinny Pete? He drank some of that ethanol developer fluid they use for the repro machines and went blind. Yeah, I heard about that. Hey, what do you hear from Doc Norton lately? Yeah, he's still a good Joe. Yeah, he'll still fix you up. You know, just snatches of conversation, and somebody says, yeah, what about that young buck Manny, the crazy guy? Yeah, I don't know about him. He got thrown out of his apartment like a month ago, and he still hangs around the neighborhood. All right. So, how about Jane? What's Jane doing? That's what you're able to get, Yang, conversationally.
Could I hear that too, or no?
Give me a listen roll. And your listen is
55.
55. You get a little less of it. Little less coherent. You hear some names and mumbles.
I hear the last part with the Manny.
Give me a luck roll. Luck 82. No. Mm-mm. Nope. Just you also hear snatches of conversation. Michael asked, does the yellow sign have something to do with calling Cthulhu? You'll just have to wait and see. All right. So what do you guys wish to do next?
I asked the bartender, does he have a Coke?
What is your charisma?
0.
My appearance is 12.
Your appearance. I'm sorry, your appearance. He just shakes his head. Nah, lady, I don't have any Coca-Cola. Look, it's not that kind of place, all right? You seem like swell people and everything, but just drink your gin and
All right.
You
Thank
should have asked him for Mountain Dew because it was a mixer back then. Not joking. True story.
No, it truly was. It was a fruit juice concoction they would mix with moonshine to make it not, taste like vomit. Then it got commercialized and started getting sold at the ABC, Alabama Bureau of Control stores, when Prohibition was eased in the South, and parents would give it to their kids without the moonshine in it or other hard liquor.
It's my
And so it
favorite
became
soda, so that explains so much.
popular soda. There's a little bit of trivia for you guys. Okay, so that's about it. You guys power through your glasses, or you can not finish them, but that's not all the forthcoming information.
Well, Charlton, hearing those guys, he is gonna. Who were talking about Manny, I believe you said his name was. He's gonna go over to them and say, "Hey, fellas, I heard you talking about Manny. He's my friend. We've been looking for him. We went to the university together."
Give me a persuasion roll. Or do you have? You've got fast talk, right?
No.
Persuasion then.
58. That's probably not. It's 55. Of course.
I hang on his shoulder and I try to help.
Yeah, they just kind of look at you suspiciously and like, we don't know no Manny.
I look at him and we saw Manny the other day. He was outside of the house there, across the street. I
Look,
don't know where
lady,
he went.
I already said I don't know no Manny. Me either, the other fellow says. And you both feel a hand on your shoulder. And there's the bartender. You folks gonna have another drink?
Nah, I think without the Mountain Dew, it's time for us to go.
He just kind of looks at you funny and says, yeah, why don't you?
And he'll turn to Jane and say, "My dear, let's be on our way."
Okay, if you're sure.
Okay, meanwhile, out in the street, Philip and Dalton, what have you got?
So have I stopped him from cutting his hand open?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is kind of simultaneous. That wasn't like 5 minutes, of time that passed. He's babbled at you all of that stuff. And give me another opposed strength check, if you would, please, Philip. Because this guy just Oh, he rests out of your grip and scrambles up to his feet and starts to bolt away. You guys have the initiative advantage with your higher dex, but he is now out of your grip and is going to bolt up the street. If you don't try and stop him.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Is there anybody else in the street, or is it just us three?
Let's see. Give me a luck roll, because you guys have been raising a lot of hell. So we gotta see if anyone is. Nobody has come to look yet. And this guy's now got a split lip, couple of bruises on his cheek, scuffs from being tackled. And his palm is cut open and bleeding, so he's losing hit points from that. I don't mean he has scratched it. I mean into the meat.
I get it. I'm not going to look at it because I
Okay.
don't want to know what he cut in there.
Huh?
But I am gonna, pull out my handkerchief and see if Philip can grab him. I'm gonna see if I can bandage it.
Okay. Well, you will go first, Philip. Are you going to try and tackle him again?
Absolutely.
Give me a roll.
Middle linebacker, University of Arkansas. Woo Pig Suey. And of course, I roll a 68, just like an Arkansas linebacker.
We hope this Saturday. Sorry, Todd. I love you to pieces, but so he twists and avoids and pushes you off, and you can make one. You can make an attempt to grab him, Dalton. Strength versus strength, which I think for you is going to be.
Yeah, 67. I've rolled that number about 4 times this session.
I know the algorithm that's running your dice just hates you tonight. So he he's staggering and like falls over a garbage can, which kind of trips you up. But he basically just starts sprinting up the street, cackling. And he screams, "I'll figure out what it is. I'll figure out what it is. I'll get back. I'll get back, and then everything will be fine."
Philip yells out, "I know what it is."
He is running up the street. Unless you want to pursue him.
I think we just let this guy go, and we're just gonna have to get him sometime later when he's more sane.
This is Cthulhu, right?
I was gonna say,
I do. Yeah.
It's RPG.
Me as a player knows that. Dalton doesn't know that yet. So,
Right. Okay, so we're going to fast forward a little bit, and we're going to say that you reconvene back at Caesar's Manor. I mean, it's late enough in the day that a late lunch is served. Do you guys like go in and talk to him directly? Actually, no, he would still be at work. He would still. So yeah, Jane is covered from like neck to knee. The front of her woolen coat is all muddy and disgusting. I think the only persons are Perry and Charlton that aren't in some way besmirched, because
yes, sir.
Philip and Dalton, yeah, you guys have got blood splatters on you, and Philip has roughed up knuckles, and so you're all back at the house. What do?
I'm freshening up, and I'm changing my clothes, and I'm sending my stuff for the housemaids to clean.
Okay. Very good, madam.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
wash
seeing
up.
as I have already had lunch, and I'm quite full, I believe that I will retire for at least a nap, and then to contemplate what has befallen us. I believe we should go to Observation Hill on the morrow.
Charlton's going to
sounds
see if he
accurate.
can. Charlton's going to see if he can get some of that money back from Caesar.
Some of
Some
what?
of some of the expenses.
Okay. Well, Caesar is not there. This is the middle of the day, so.
Philip says, "Why don't we go out to the hill tonight? Maybe we can see what he saw."
It's a good idea.
You mean to go at night, man?
Yes, at night, the opposite of day, when stars are out. It would maybe lead us to what it may give us a clue as to where he would go.
This is
let's
likely why you have been chosen least likely to succeed at Miskatonic University. For my friend, it will be very dark. Very
Well,
dark.
let's
Observation
take
Hill
David's
is a dark
equipment with
site.
us. Let's take David's equipment with us.
And what shall we do for light?
The point is that it's at dark.
Yeah, well, the point is that I think we shall leave in the morning, and then go set up our location, and then wait for night to fall. However, if you have different decisions, I'm used to dealing with the ignorance.
Well, I suppose probably during the light might be better because we're not completely familiar with the equipment like David would be.
Or we could go now and set up the equipment while Professor Sleepy Pants there takes a nap, and then we'll set up the equipment, and then we can go tonight. Finding a missing person, I would think time is the utmost resource. We have to move while we can.
Are you suggesting that you go tonight? And am I Professor Sleepy Pants?
Yes,
Because
yes,
I'm not certain.
you
Oh,
are
okay.
Professor Sleepy
Fair
Pants.
enough. I'll take a nap and I'll come watch the carnage of your disemboweled and dismembered bodies.
From just
Okay.
looking at the stars, man.
Well, it seems there's more afoot than that. How many times have you been attacked by brigands and burglars? I see some bumps and bruises, eh?
Yeah.
I'll have you know that we afforded ourselves admirably, and indeed we even started the fight.
As I would expect from a jock. Fair enough. I'll do whatever you decide.
Okay. So you guys are heading out there to set up now? Is that the keeper's understanding?
I got nothing better to do, sadly.
Works for me.
I grabbed some lunch on the way out.
All right.
What's for lunch? It's like none of those nasty capers. I hope this time.
It is chicken and gravy and roasted potatoes.
Oh,
Well, holy hell!
Oh, I'll
This
eat
is
it. I'll eat at the
a-
house before we leave then.
Philip
a
is
lunch worth eating.
Philip is definitely throwing down on some of that.
Okay.
Capers are delicious.
They actually are. All right. So
It's okay to be wrong.
you continue on with your with your preparations for the evening. You have had your repast. So you head then onward to Observation Hill.
That's right. Now, is this a point where we can be driven, or is it no roads?
Oh no, it's near the university. You can drive. You can have a car take you to the university, and then walk the quarter of a mile, technically off the campus to the hill. You all attended Miskatonic. The hill is not just for observation. Well, observation of the stars at any rate. So you're not unfamiliar with it at all.
Okay.
A lot of biology was studied on that hill.
Plenty of heavenly bodies. All right. So you make your way to the university at the appropriate time, and head out to the hill. The woods, the tree line between the campus proper and the hill is right spooky. It's a little chilly in the year because, again, it is March, so any upper or underclassmen are not up here, and the recent brouhaha has kind of the dormitory matrons have quite strict rules regarding late night comings and goings of students. So by the time you get there, it is it is not very occupied at all. Let me see.
Dawn, you're going in the front, I assume.
Yeah, I'll lead the way. I've been on this hill once or twice, I think.
Well, you are well equipped to deal with anything that might befall you or befall us.
Okay. Dalton, give me a spot hidden check as you climb up the hill, please.
That's one of the things I'm good at.
Yeah.
These dice don't care.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Oh, there you go. 30.
40. Okay. All right.
It's actually 30. It's annoying me how this dice roller counts that. That's actually 30.
I think you might be rolling wrong. Pick the leftmost
two
D10
tens for the
and
dice
then click
I
the
saw.
one.
I have a
Right.
D10X and a D10. That's what I'm rolling.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
mine works.
I saw the result. You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when you go up, the hill is broad, flat, and essentially rectangular at the top. You can see there's lots of footprints up here in the soft soil. It's mostly covered with grass, but where effectively steps have been worn in the side by the passing of many students. You suspect that some of the students have actually come out here over time, because it was like that when you were here, in times past, and scraped and packed the earth to make ascent all the easier. But yeah, there are plenty of footprints up here fanning out in various directions. And you have ample room to set up a point to observe from.
All right. We'll unpack whatever we got to unpack and start attempting to set up the scope and gear.
Okay. All right. I think the only person among you who actually has astronomy is Charlton Wiggins. That's right. Give me an astronomy roll for Charlton Wiggins.
Astronomy was not his best subject in school.
That's a 38. You got pretty decent odds.
Oh.
Can we make this diceless?
I give him a pep talk. Try it
We're
again.
we're not playing Amber Cthulhu. Sorry. Okay, so you do take a little while. You think you got the telescope set up where it needs to be. It's about 2 p.m. The clocks have not yet sprung forward on behalf of the farmers, so sundown isn't that far off. Is there anything anyone would like to do up here?
So you mentioned footprints. Is there anything suspicious in the footprints, or they just kind of look normal, or normal people, normal gaits, I guess?
Let's see.
Normal size.
Give me a tracking roll. Your base track is 10%.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh, just about as far from that as I can get.
Yes. So a 96 is what he got. Yeah, just who knows?
I'm gonna gather wood to build a fire, so we're not in the dark.
All right.
I'm going to look around to see if there's anything that sticks out of the ordinary.
Okay. Yeah, there's actually, as far as wood goes, there's no trees or anything up here. You'd have to go down into the trees, down the side of the hill and off into the trees by yourself. If you want, well, I mean,
that's a great idea.
not by yourself, but I mean, you're not going to find wood up here, regardless if it's one of you or all five of you that look, or one of you or all five of you that go down the side of the hill is where you will find it.
Does it look like I'd have enough time to do that before it got dark, or not?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 45 minutes or an hour, maybe at most.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask if anybody wants to assist me in getting wood, or if they just want me to, disappear like David.
Charlton will agree to go with him.
Okay.
Philip is going to stretch back on the hill and take this time to take a nap.
Okay. So back over to Jane. Jane, give me an occult roll, please.
Nice. This is the one thing. I'm good at.
Yeah. There's something, but you can't. No. It's probably not. It's probably nothing. You're like, is it? No. That's ridiculous. All right. So those of you that go down to gather wood, you've got to walk for a while, because the ground here is very damp, and finding any dry wood is actually kind of difficult. But you do eventually come up with a small bundle. You think it'll maybe burn for possibly an hour. I don't know wood burning, folks. So, you've got a good armload of sticks of sticks that seem to be mostly dry.
All right, I'll tap Charlton on the shoulder and say, "Yeah, let's get back. This doesn't bode too well.
All right,
we should definitely get the hell out of here before this dies out. When we light this thing."
Yeah, I'm worried about the telescope too.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll head back then.
All right. So you make your way back up to the top of the hill. The sun is starting to get low in the sky. Unless you guys have anything else you'd like to do, time passes and eventually night falls. It is cold and windy up on top of the hill. But you have a clear view. Now, the answer is no, and I know this, so I'm not going to ask that question. What do you guys wish to observe through the telescope? You have a clear sky, mostly just a few stringy bits of cloud, March winds, of course.
Well, we have his information as far as like where he was pointing it, the telescope, right?
Did anyone bring that with them? No one said they were.
No, but we did.
I wrote it in my book. when I was looking out in the garden, right?
Yeah,
Right.
we did look at the spot, but that's right where that gas lamp was. So try to go to the spot that won't blind us now.
No, that was in the garden
Yeah.
in Caesar's
That was at the
estate
house.
where there was a gas lamp.
Oh.
There are no lights. There are no lights out here except
Right,
for
right.
Can we
the
have?
stars.
But
Can we have?
but what I'm saying is the patch of sky that we were trying to look at in the garden,
I see.
that's the patch we want to take a look at.
Then go ahead and give me an astronomy roll.
Okay. All right.
I'll step back and let him do his job because
Okay.
I don't want to make it too easy by helping.
Whoa! 12.
12. Okay, yeah. So you get the telescope zeroed in on what you think is the patch of sky. Working those I mean, this is a finely built telescope, all shining yellow brass mechanism and everything, and blonde wooden fixtures and knobs on it. It's a work of art as much as a telescope. And looking through the objective, out there, a sort of reddish gold pinpoint of light. Yes, indeed. You are looking at distant Aldebaran. And it is sort of pulsing and twinkling. It's a little round dot. It's a little tiny round dot. Obviously you're not going to resolve a huge amount of detail, but let's see. Do you tell anyone else to look through the telescope?
Sure, I'll give them all a chance to look.
Hey, come do a sand roll.
Okay.
I'll look through it. Whatever.
Okay.
I'll look through it. I'm not scared.
All right. A twinkling little star that's kind of reddish and goldish. Todd, give me an idea roll, please.
Alrighty. I'm good at that.
I swear to God, I'm not doing this on purpose to him, folks.
Hey, 37.
Cool. You're looking at Aldebaran. Give me a sand roll, please.
All right. And outstanding.
Okay. Yeah. You're looking at Aldebaran, and I mean that is a common star that can be sighted by a good astronomer, and there's absolutely no reason that you should worry about the fact that Aldebaran is mentioned once in The King in Yellow. And you're just like, okay, you've seen books since you got your the copy of The King in Yellow. That doesn't mean all books have anything to do with it. You've seen the word "the." That doesn't mean the word "the" is cursed. So you're just looking up at Aldebaran, and there it is. It's quite pretty as you look at it.
Brings a tear to one's eye, doesn't it?
Anybody else checking it out?
Oh, I'm checking it out.
All right. And Perry, do you want to look at Albuquerque too?
No, I'm retired.
Totally jaded. just
Yeah.
look back. Whatever. Enjoy it. So you guys are looking up at it. Everybody give me a listen roll, please. 53, 56. Oh, a 6. That definitely. Okay, so I believe that was Safi that threw the 6. There's something moving in the underbrush down near the base of the hill.
I point it and say, "Oh my gosh, there's something there."
Out in the pitch blackness.
I'm gonna look over there. Is it the area we were searching for wood, or in another space?
It's in another space, but it's also pitch black.
Okay.
I mean, the moon has gone down, which is why you've got such a good view of the stars. So yeah, you'll have to go over there to see.
Well, this is one of those situations where I really wish I had my heater from my old job, but I'll grab a piece of wood out of the fire and walk down there.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden check.
Yeah, I spotted hidden. That's it.
Give me a listen roll.
82. Finally, a roll that's under 70.
Okay. You hear the sound of footsteps running away into the darkness.
I'm gonna say, "Hey, Manny!" Yell it out there to see if it's him.
Does not stop, does not react. Footsteps going further. All of you up on the hill here. Hey, Manny!
Once the sound's no longer able to be heard, I'm gonna go back to the scope. I'm not gonna hang out here at the edge.
Alrighty. Scope butts against the edge and its horns become entangled.
I tell everybody there was somebody down there. It was a person. I don't know who it was. I thought maybe it was the freak, but he didn't respond when I called out his name.
Ah, fiddlesticks.
Okay. So you don't see who it was, and they do not stop when you run away, or when you call out to them. So they just continue to run away. Is there anything that you guys wish to do? Any information from up on the hill with your observations? Anything at all?
Oh, I'm gonna look around and see if there's any other light anywhere else, or if we're in the only area that's lit.
There are lights, a few lights on the university campus. There is distant glow of the lights from the city proper, but nothing to interfere with the with your telescope observing the stars.
So no other lights whatsoever on the hill.
No other lights whatsoever.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Is
there's
there
your fire.
anyone
There's your
else on the hill?
firelight.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm excluding that, but yeah.
No, the top of the hill is it's not that big. It's maybe if you take perhaps a quarter the size of a football field.
Okay.
But there's no one else up here that might be
No.
observing or anything else like that?
No, there's just you.
Let's say I were to use the telescope. Could I look down and see where David lived from here?
No. That is on that is out in the town, and you have no idea where.
Well, perhaps we need to do more research on this Aldebaran.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what we were trying to do out here. I thought we'd see something. I guess we didn't.
Well,
I'll look at the scope again, just to check.
David did indicate he was surprised that Aldebaran would be there.
I'm sorry. Give me an idea roll, if you would, please. There, and let me know what you got.
Who do you want it from?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Dalton. You were looking through the telescope, correct?
Yep, 47.
47. So, and you don't have any astronomy, correct?
I have 0 astronomy.
You have 0 astronomy.
I have accounting, but I don't think that helps.
It does not help you. Let me see here. That's Jane. No wonder. Yeah, there's something about the star. It's like stars twinkle, right? For whatever reason, stars twinkle. You're no physicist, you're no astronomer. There's just there. Give me an occult roll.
All right. 14.
Yeah, there's just an idea. It's kind of right on the tip of your tongue, and you can't quite figure it out. So you're not 100% sure what is up with that yellow red star and the flickering and the winking it's doing. Good night, Tommy Die. You can't put your finger on it.
I'll tell Charlton. Hey, you know this stuff, right? I mean, does that look right? Is it normal? It's just something's bugging me about it. I don't know what it is, but I never looked at this thing before, so it just looks odd. Maybe you could take a look.
Sure. Charlton will take another look. Does he see anything odd that's...
Yeah, give me an astronomy roll.
Oh, boy. Nope.
Always when we need it the most.
I saw the 2 and the 3 come up. You'd have to check it again. You're not 100% sure. It's kind of creepy out here late at night.
I think you smudged the eyepiece here. Let me check again.
Would this have Philip has anthropology? Well, no, that wouldn't. I'm trying to think. Would there be anything that Philip would know as a historian about that star? Like,
I tell you what. That is a good question. Yeah, give me an anthropology roll.
did it roll? Yep.
It did roll.
Oh, there it goes.
It's 90.
That's either.
Yeah.
That's either. Yeah.
Yeah, after thrashing around and seeing all that blood and everything, and that guy mouthing off with something that had been in that book, maybe if you approach us with a clearer head tomorrow.
Chuck, try looking again.
Yeah, he'll try looking through there again.
Yeah, it's just you're not getting your head. You're going to have to come at this with fresh eyes.
And this hill is right next to the university, right?
Yeah, it's about a quarter of a mile away, but it's on university grounds.
Philip, what say we go take a look at the library tonight?
I'm always excited to go to the library.
It's well after midnight. Sorry.
Oh, so the entire campus should be shut down at this point.
More or less.
Well, it looks like we might have to come back tomorrow. And maybe we have a couple of people looking out for whoever it is that was spying on us earlier, farther down the hill to wait for them.
Alrighty. Okay, so what you spend the rest of the evening kind of looking at the star. Does anyone take any notes?
Yeah, Charlton will take notes of the position of the stars and whatnot.
Okay. All right. The rest of the evening passes uneventfully, and you return to the estate. Cold, a little bit grubby, but nothing else of note. So the next day, Perry, what are you doing the next day? You've been awfully quiet and brooding over their doom sword. So what does Perry do the next day?
Yeah. My intention is to go to observation hell, and for everyone to go with me.
All right.
At least that's where I left off on the previous eve. I don't see really what we could do better than that.
During the day or at night, like the following night?
Yeah, well, I was intending to wake up in the morning.
Okay.
And spend it until these people decide where they need to go.
Okay. Dalton, what are you doing the next day?
You know, if we're going to go back on that hill, I'm going to go get some firewood. If I have to buy it.
There's firewood here at the estate. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna bundle it up in some canvas and tie it off so I can carry it over my back or whatever.
Okay.
Fine
So
idea.
we don't have the time frame limit that we're gonna have otherwise.
Okay, and Charlton, how about you?
Well, first he's going to try to get the money back from Caesar. Then he's probably going to go, if we're going to go back at night, he'll see if Philip wants to join him at the Miskatonic Library during the day, and then the two of them meet the other people in the evening on the hill.
Okay. And what about Philip?
Philip is going to go to the library the next day.
All right. And finally, Jane. What is Jane going to do?
I'm going to have breakfast, and then I'm going to order a picnic basket because apparently everybody's going different directions, and I will go to the hill with the group and bring food and drink.
Okay.
There's one other thing Dalton's going to want to do. He's going to want to go and see if he can procure a miner's lamp and some calcium carbide, just in case that person shows up again.
A miner's lamp and some calcium carbide. Give your friendly neighborhood keeper a bit of information, and let me know what the calcium carbide's for.
It's what powers the lamp. It creates acetone when you put water in it, right? So the miner's lamp, this is ancient tech, right? You have a canister that has a drip from a water bottle in it. And
yeah, I know what a
lamp. Yeah. Are you talking about in game?
Well, no, I've got it. Carbide lamp. They use them in mines up until the 1950s because they were concerned about sparks from an electric lamp setting off coal dust.
That's right.
Yes, you can get a miner's helmet, a miner's lamp at the hardware store. As you have all gone about doing this, Perry, you're at rest, or are you doing any investigation after they have scattered to go on their various errands? What is Perry doing?
I don't have much to do. I assume that I told them that my primary interest was observation help, and I'm chilling.
Okay. All right. So Dalton, Charlton, Philip, you are all about your errands. Jane, you are waiting for a picnic basket to be procured from somewhere for you. No, actually, not a lot of picnics gone on by Caesar with the passing of his wife, so they'll actually have to send someone out to get one. But as you are there at the house, basically the butler comes to you and says, Mrs. Carter, or Ms. Carter, rather.
Yes.
There's a caller here for you. A Miss Madame Casilda wishes to speak to you in the drawing room. Is where I have her waiting.
Thank you. Lead me there.
Okay. And there she sits. She stands up and says a very grateful thank you to the butler, and walks up to you and says, I need to talk to you about David. First, look, I am so sorry about the other day. You would all come into my studio. I didn't know who you were or what you wanted, but there are some things I need to show you about David's disappearance. I can't go to the police. Please, for God's sake, please can you please just come with me? Please.
Then why did you go to the police in the first place?
Where
I
would
never
you like me
went to the police. It's at my studio. Please.
I think I can bum a cigarette now.
Of course.
All right, I'll light that up.
All right. I drove. If you wish to come along, it's not much. It's just an old truck. She leads you outside, and there's an old Ford pickup truck. There's 2 seats in front, and then there's kind of a buckboard sort of affair in the back for a passenger.
So just Perry and I are the only ones here then?
That is correct.
All right. I look at him and I say, well, we kind of need to follow this. What do you think?
Sure.
All right.
Well, maybe we should alert the others.
Well, we'll leave a note.
All right.
That's going to be how you alert the others at any rate. That's no mobile phones. Sorry. And that's why you play Call of Cthulhu in the 20s, kids. I'll send a telegram. Leaving the house. Stop. Investigating monsters. Stop.
That's it.
I mean, we leave a note. We're going to Costello's and came to get us.
To Madame Casilda's studio.
Correct.
Very well.
Okay. So she drives along mostly in silence, very nervous. Who's up front and who's in the back? Because there's literally 2 seats in the front and the buckboard kind of affair in the back.
I assume that I would take the front seat.
I was going to say I'd be in the back.
Okay. All right. So you bounce through Arkham over cobbled streets and all, and she occasionally offers. She says, I was so upset, and you'll have to forgive me. And she reaches over and rests her hand on her knee just for a moment and grinds through the gears and all. It was, of course, just everything has been upside down for the last couple of weeks. I left town to gather art supplies, and I felt when I came back, I was beside myself, and I'm so sorry. And she goes back to paying attention to the little bit of traffic on the road. And
I handed you my card, madam.
I'm
a
know
toy
you.
lawyer. You threw it on the ground.
I threw it on my
What
desk.
of this? Very well.
She did. She did toss it on her desk. She didn't throw it on the ground. She tossed it on her desk. But anyway.
Fair enough.
Greetings, PML. Good to see you. So you continue on through the town for a while, and she offers you apologies at every turn. She is very different from the sharp-tongued woman from before. And she's finally, she pulls in to the street in the back and climbs out and says, "I'm terribly sorry. You can hear her through the canvas topper on the back of the truck. She said, "I'm terribly sorry. I hope the ride wasn't too rough."
The road was fine, but where do you intend to go? I assume at this point.
Well, she was speaking to Jane.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she's speaking to Jane. Well, that's up to my apartment, and I'll tell you everything. Please, I have the closed sign in the window. We won't be disturbed, I can assure you.
All right. We're very interested in finding David. I mean,
I am
we've been
too.
friends for many years.
I am too, and I hope he comes back from where he went. I honestly do. She like, there's the L-shaped stairs, and she's like, "Please."
I'll wait for her to go in front of me, but I will go after her.
All right. She goes.
I end up with Jane by myself.
When I realized what had happened, of course, I had to do something. I absolutely had to do something, because this has gone on too long. Please make yourselves at home. She's got the door open to presumably her domicile on the neighbor's store. So the sitting room of this looks like it is a little more than an extension of the studio space downstairs. There's a low couch, but there's also an easel. There is a high-backed wooden chair with armrests on it. You see there's a door on the far wall, a little kitchenette corner type thing, a gas fireplace replacement there. And she says, "Now, let's see. Yes, of course." She draws a revolver and points it at you both and says, "Who wants to chain whom up first?"
Well, if it must be known, I would be happy to chain up the broad.
Then please do so.
You have the chain?
Right there on the chair. And you look over, and lying under a cushion on the chair and attached to the chair and everything, there are manacles.
Oh, very well. I see we think alike. I appreciate the fact that that cigarette you gave me earlier was a sign of things to come.
If your
What
mind
shall we do with this?
If your mind is bent that way, you're absolutely going to love where I'm sending you.
Well, I figure we might work together, of course.
You're next. Now,
And I might be next, but at least let me
she reaches in her
my
coat
time on the
pocket.
way out.
She reaches in her coat pocket and throws a pair of handcuffs at you and says, put these on. Or no, she says, one goes on the wrist and the other goes on that pipe on the wall. And
Well,
if you
very well. I shall do that.
All right. She watches
But
you.
I must tie up the female first.
I'm sorry. Keeper's mistake. I thought you had already done that before she does that. She does not
no
give you she does not give you the cuffs until you manacle chain to the chair.
Right. Yeah. So I'll tie up the broad. Whatever.
All right.
I mean, I ain't got a choice, really. And
I
then she
look at her
tosses
and I
me
say,
the cuffs.
I look at her and
Go
say,
ahead.
what did you do with David? Because obviously you've done something to him.
I gave him something he really wanted.
Well, apparently you're planning the same thing for us.
All right.
So,
Once you've got Jane fettered to the chair, she revolver out, eye level, throws the handcuffs at you over to the pipe.
yeah. So is there a way for me to catch those handcuffs and try to do a little bit of sleight of hand or something to kind of distract her so that I can leap into her and tackle her?
What do you want to do?
Well, I need to take her out. I'm not
Okay.
handcuffing myself to anything.
I gotcha.
Otherwise, I'm toast.
So let's see. So I tell you what, give me an idea roll.
All right.
And did he really chain me up, or did he
Yes,
make it look like it?
she watched it. He really
Yeah.
chained you up.
I didn't know if he was able to sleight of
21.
hand that.
All right, 21. When she throws the handcuffs, you think maybe you can duck under them and possibly fly at her. What is Agley's dex here? What is 11?
Yeah, 11.
Okay, it's gonna be a tie. Do you want to duck under the cuffs and try and lunge at her?
Yeah, and hope that I'm ducking in such a way that the 22 doesn't point directly at me.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to slam this lady into the wall. She needs an ass whooping.
Okay. Well, let's see. I was kind of hoping we'd get this a little bit closer to midnight so we could end on a cliffhanger tonight, but I promised you guys 4 3-hour sessions, and 4 3-hour sessions you shall get. So it is a tie. She does get a shot off as you are running in, so I'm gonna roll first. Unfortunately, this is a pistol, and it does have impale.
Yeah, it sucks to get shot in Call of Cthulhu.
It does.
Meanwhile, I'm going to try to break loose.
So 42 is going to just hit you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So let's see. That is a 22. So let's see. Let me check the impale on that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll impale me. Hopefully.
But we shall see. Oh, there's what I was looking for. Gosh darn it. The melee weapons table. It's on page 16. All right, the fire is okay. So yeah, she did hit you. This is effectively point blank. That is a 22 revolver. Blam. Blam, a miss with that one. And blam, she only got you with one.
Nice.
So you are struck. Why is that telling me? Oh, okay. How many hit points does Agley have? Let me see. Hit point.
10.
10. Okay. All right. And wow. All right.
Nice.
So that goes through like the fleshy part of your upper arm. I mean, that's 1/10 of your hit points, right?
Sure.
And you can definitely feel the blood starting to flow down your arm. You're not. Who did that? Good Lord, what was all that about? Was that an attempt to get my attention? Someone?
No, that was me refreshing D-Die Dice or whatever, and it decided to roll everything.
Decided to just throw up everywhere. Okay, so yeah, she prangs you, and let's do an opposed strength check. Now that is going to be just go ahead and roll D percentage, and if you roll a 99, you don't have her, and if you do 74, so let's
74. See. Yeah.
8, and what is your strength?
Strength 9.
All right. 8 versus 9. That sting, you're just a little bit woozy, and she like dances out of the way and swings the gun back around and says, "One more time. Try me. One more time."
You already tried, bitch.
I'm
Handcuffs.
trying to break loose.
Now.
I'm trying to break loose.
I understand you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump into her again. There's no way I'm gonna put these handcuffs on, because then we're both toast.
All right.
You know.
All right. So it is again the same initiative. I will give you the tackle first, but it is simultaneous. She might shoot you even as you grab her. So
Sure.
So go ahead and roll it. You are 9 versus 8.
91.
Okay. That is one more hit. That is 2 hits. Oh, that's not good. That is not good.
Nope.
Oh no.
14.
14. Yeah.
I had 9. See ya.
All right. So I'm just going to double check on the damage on that 22 revolver and taking let's see. All right. Just want to make sure we've got shooting. Yeah, that's unfortunately. You have been shot a lot. Let me see here, Doomsword. I am. Let's see.
Fatality.
I think it may be. All right. So. So at the very least, you're unconscious right now. At the very least, you're
right. Fair enough.
On the floor. She looks at you, tosses the gun aside, looks at you, Jane, and goes, "Men."
Well, I tied you up pretty good.
She brings a stool over. She like drags it over. She also drags a large bucket with a cloth over the top, takes it off, and there's a smell like an open grave just permeates the room. And you glance down, and the bucket is full of yellow, extremely wet clay. And she says, "You know, painting's not my first pursuit. I like to do castings."
I'm worth more alive than I am otherwise.
"Oh, I know. It's okay." She kind of cradles your face. You're creeped out. By the way, give me a sand roll. you just saw a friend of yours get shot multiple times. Give me a sand roll, please. Yeah, that's gonna cost you.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah, that's you're
That
you're
might
down,
not be a bad thing where I'm at right now.
you're down to San, and this obviously crazy woman is slowly starting to pack this clay onto you. And I think that even though we're a few minutes short, actually, wait, let's go back. Charlton, Philip, and Dalton, what are you guys doing?
Checking out the library.
Okay.
I was getting the wood and the lamp, so yeah.
Okay. All right. And Philip, you're with Charlton, right? You're muted, by the way. Todd, your mic's muted.
Sorry. Here I am.
Okay. Mr. Teague, how wonderful to see you again. Yes, it truly is a delight having you back on campus. What brings you to the library?
Well, I'm actually looking for books on a star called Albuquerque.
Mr. Teague, you do have us on. Albuquerque is a city in the territory of New Mexico.
Yes, it's elderberry.
I believe he means Aldebaran.
Ah,
That
yes,
as well.
Why, as I live and breathe, it's Charlton Wiggins. Indeed, what an august occurrence to see two old men of Miskatonic you on campus. How wonderful to have you here again.
Just like old times.
He clasps your hand, gives you the double handshake, How good to see you again. You didn't tell me, Philip, that Charlton was accompanying you? Or is this just a chance meeting, perhaps courtesy of the stars, if you will?
Yes, of course.
But, well, if it's astronomy that you're looking for information on, please come this way. Of course, Charlton, you remember we have an extensive section of astronomy here in the library. He does not say library. Sorry, that is a keeper mistake. Library. So, he takes you to the section on stars and says, Aldebaran is sadly a far too little studied body in the heavens. I believe its recent discovery has given scientists new insights into very nature of the cosmos itself. But I will leave it to your books. You may, of course, come and visit me in the desk for any additional questions. The card catalog is at your disposal. Young man, no. That's fiction. You must pardon me. And he departs.
Well, we get to researching.
All right. Yeah, Dalton, you're at the hardware store. What can I help you with, Pap?
Yeah, I was hoping to find a miner's lamp and get some calcium carbide to feed it. I got some spelunking to do, and I was hoping to use it to, it's good purpose.
Heading out to the caves, are you?
Yeah.
That's summertime work. She's a wicked pisser coming this weekend, I can tell you that. I can feel it in the elbow. Got a piece of hung steel right there. I was a bellow wood. So anyway, you need a carbide lamp?
Yeah, I need a carbide lamp, and then I'm hoping to get some carbide as well to go with it, so I can, use it and not have too much trouble keeping it running.
Bam, bam, $7.
All right, I'll hand him over $7. I say, hey, you have the strap for this thing?
And there's one with it. Like the whole thing, the whole affair comes with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say $7. I was like, ooh, that's some spinny stuff. But yeah, if it's the helmet and everything, cool. I'll say, hey, by the way, you don't have to have like 38 or something back there that I could buy from you, do you? Or
he looks at you, looks over his shoulder at the pegboard with guns.
Oh, there's a pegboard with guns on it. I look at it. I'm like,
there's like a Remington sale sign on the counter. There's a Colt sale sign on the counter. Okay. It's a hardware store in the 1920s.
Okay, I just...
He'll sell you blocks of TNT.
Yeah, this is close. Yeah, there's dynamite down there. I want to say, you don't have like a single action army up there, do you? I look around and see if I find one up there.
Yes, he does actually. He's got that. He's got Navy Colts. He's got so you're a 38 revolver, right?
Yes.
That ain't cheap. That's going to set you back $20.
What about cartridges? Can I get some of those as well?
Yeah, $2 for a box.
Okay, so wow. That's
for a buck. Again,
$29. Jeez. But I need these things, so yeah, I'll. Right. Well, do I have it? I don't know if the sheet doesn't have the cost.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're a professional. You have a job, of course. You have the money.
All right, so I'll hand it over, and I'll look at it closely to make sure it's not been a police trade-in or something.
No, it is an oiled. It is, it's a well-maintained handgun.
I know this in these days isn't all that useful, but never hurts to have one. So,
Oh, sure. Sure, Pop.
yeah, well, I appreciate it, and I may come back. I might have some other needs too. Who knows what's down there?
Well, we got it all here, Pop.
All right, and then I'll head back.
Okay. He goes back to organizing the cans of Minwax, and you head off. That is where we're going to leave it for this week, folks. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will be leaving on a jet plane. But we will be back on Monday. Monday, we will make our return. We'll just have some good, fun, open RPG talk Monday. Tuesday night, we're back with some Let's Play First Edition AD&D, where hopefully Vrug Dorn won't get shot 4 times with a revolver. Wednesday, we will be playing Conflict, where almost certainly people will get shot with revolvers and other heavier weapons. Thursday, Bob Antone in the studio. That's going to be a lot of fun. You guys don't want to miss that. And if you've never watched the show before or listened to us before, you'll find out why. And then Friday, we find out a little bit more. So until then, guys, for all of our players here and to everyone out there, I'd like to say thank you very much. And you all have a wonderful evening. And I will see everybody on the flip side. But until then, if you're wondering why I've been going on about Bob Antone, let me just tell you this. Keep your eyes peeled for the owlbear. Peace, good night, and I love you all.
Bye-bye.
Night, peeps.
Owlbear. Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to